This is the story of Jorge, a man who at 34 years old had his life irrevocably altered one night. He would come to learn that family isn't always about love. Sometimes it's about survival. What followed was a battle that would redefine what home truly meant. The snow began falling, soft and tender, as he was preparing to relax with a cup of tea. Then his phone rang. It was his niece, Emily. Her tiny voice, breaking like glass, whispered that her grandfather had hit her mother, Jorge's sister, and her grandmother, Lena, had told them to get out. As she spoke, he heard his mother's voice on the line, venomous and cold. "Take your kid and freeze." You leech as a door slammed, and the call went dead. A storm warning crawled across the television, but Jorge didn't hesitate. He grabbed his keys, his coat, and a first aid kit. The roads blurred white. His tires skidded, but he kept going. Every mile, his mind fought to reconcile the woman who raised him with the one who could discard her own family into a blizzard. He finally found them huddled outside a gas station, his sister bleeding and bruised, her hands raw and trembling. Emily's wheelchair was askew on the curb, and she clutched a frayed scarf he had once knitted for her hero cape. His sister's voice was a rasp. "I didn't want to drag you into this." Jorge didn't answer. He just lifted Emily and her chair into the car, shoved the heater on full blast, and drove. At his house, the truth slowly emerged. His sister, with a voice barely above a whisper, revealed a lifetime of emotional and financial abuse. Their stepfather, John, had repeatedly assaulted her, while his mother, Lena, had extorted money from them, using Emily's disability checks to fund her and her husband's vacations and frivolous spending. He replayed his own past, all the times he had given them money for emergencies and medical bills, and a chilling realization settled over him. Their love was always conditional, a transaction. The confrontation and vindication, the rot, Jorge discovered, went even deeper. A voicemail he found on his sister's phone from Lena made his blood run cold. His mother's voice, once used for lullabies, now promised to make you disappear if her daughter embarrassed her again. He sat there, paralyzed by the chilling threat. Then he looked at Emily, asleep under a quilt, her hand resting on a crayon drawing of three people holding hands. His purpose became clear. He could not break. Not now, not ever. The next morning, his sister's stepfather, John, arrived at his door, trying to posture as a concerned relative. His voice was sweet as poison. Jorge stood his ground and told him to leave, but he retaliated with a threat. He would tell the police Jorge had kidnapped them. A few weeks later, his mother and John appeared in court, polished and smug, having filed a petition for emergency custody of Emily. They believed they could use the legal system to legitimize their cruelty. But Jorge came prepared. He stepped forward and submitted his evidence, an audio recording of Lena colluding with John to have the state deem his sister unstable and take Emily away. He also presented a motel receipt from the night of the storm, proving that he had rescued his family. The smugness evaporated from their faces as John, his face crimson, blurted out the truth, yelling that they deserved the money they took. The judge, witnessing the grotesque display, slammed her gavel. The petition for custody was denied, and a financial abuse investigation was launched immediately. As John was escorted from the room, his sister's hands trembled in his, no longer with fear, but with relief. The resolution. A month later, the storm was just a memory. They moved into a small, sunlit house with a peace they had never known. They had no lavish furnishings, only 3 chairs on a porch and the quiet hum of a newfound safety. They were just 3 people, breathing the same air, no longer defined by the shadows of their past. Jorge received a text from the clerk's office. Restitution granted. Visitation denied. Justice didn't come with fanfare or revenge. It came with paperwork, silence, and the knowledge that they had broken a cycle of abuse. When he looks at Emily, he sees her smile, her hair pinned back with a bright butterfly clip, and he realizes that healing doesn't look like winning. It looks like showing up again and again until the people you love are safe.